skirting Bath into Gloucestershire, and finally, a few miles past the market town of Strood, easing to a halt outside a lovely brick cottage in the village of Edgeworth. It was home to A.C. Brown, an accomplished amateur racer and all-round motor enthusiast, known to his friends as Tony. And it was home, too, to his pair of A.C. Cobras. Once the formalities were done, Haynes set off home in his sleek red Cobra, with Jay strapped into the passenger seat beside him and Annette following in the rolls. Neither father nor son said a word as the roadster hurtled along the old Roman roads of Gloucestershire. Jay could barely see above the dashboard, but that didn't matter. Enveloped by the roar of the V8, he was mostly watching his father's face, beaming with excitement, the smile almost beatific, as if he'd reached the automotive equivalent of the promised land. Which was what made what happened after they got back home all the more jarring. "It handles like a pig." Haynes fumed when they got out. "I don't understand for the life of me why everyone makes such a fuss of this car. It's terrible." It wasn't until after dinner that he skulked back outside to have another look, more and more frustrated, and hugely disappointed. It was Annette who suggested that he might want to check the tyre pressures. When he did, first the front, then the back, the smile returned. One of the tyres was at a mere 15 psi, another at 24 psi, a third at 30 psi, and one of the rear ones at 40 psi. Crouching down, he pumped each of them up to the proper pressure. Getting back into the driver's seat, he pulled out of the drive, turned onto the main road, and sped away, returning half an hour later, grinning broadly. Not only did he never regret the purchase, when Brown phoned the following week, having had second thoughts about selling the car and wanting to buy it back, Haynes was polite but firm. "Sorry, Tony, but no." The Cobra purchase came at an especially important juncture in Haynes's life. Even though he was in his mid-30s, it marked a kind of dividing line between an elongated youth and a business adolescence as well, in which he'd seized opportunities, played hunches, and ridden a mix of extraordinarily good judgment and good luck, and his entry into fully fledged adulthood. Parts of the younger Haynes would always remain: the engaging mischievousness, the appetite for risk-taking, the underlying sense that some way, somehow, things would turn out for the best. That's one reason why only a vanishingly small number of the many thousands of people whose lives crossed with his in the years that followed had a single bad word to say about him. But both his business and his personal lives were fundamentally changing. The business, Haynes Publishing, with its soon-to-be iconic catalogue of car repair manuals, had only recently set down more permanent roots. Its various tentacles, taking apart the cars, photographing them and putting them back together, writing and printing the first generation of manuals, and selling them along with an assortment of other motoring titles, had been divided between a combination office and bookshop in Odcombe, which John's younger brother David initially outfitted as a contract printing business, and a garage and printing operation that John had set up in the converted barn at Camway, the rambling old house he and Annette had bought in the nearby village of West Camel when she'd been pregnant with Jay. But not long before buying the Cobra, Haynes had formally moved all the operations into a former creamery a few miles down the road in Spartford. It would remain there for all of his life. The family was now a settled unit too. Jay's younger brother, Mark, had been born in 1968. The third and final son, Chris, was nearing his first birthday. And to all but a handful of people, the adult John never ceased to appear anything but self-confident, sprightly, sunny, and successful. And he was all of this. The smile, soon to be wreathed by a beard he grew, shaved off.